Chapter 21 Military Order. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chu Xinghe's confinement ended early. No one thought that there was anything wrong with Senior Brother Xinghe being released. After all, Senior Brother Xinghe had made great contributions to the sect this time. As for the suggestion of the Great Elder to let Chu Xinghe be the leader, the sect master nodded and agreed without saying a word. 100 places were quickly selected by the elders in each palace. All the disciples who could enter these 100 places were the best disciples in each palace. The Medicine King Palace was in full swing, and all the disciples stepped up to refine the stone-breaking pill in preparation for this trip to the Spirit Cave. All preparations were being carried out in full swing. Wan Lin was also one of the 100 places this time. She ran to the Medicine King Palace with great joy. As soon as she entered the door, she saw the frowning Chu Xinghe. Senior Brother Xinghe must be worried because of the huge pressure of being the leader this time. He must be worried that he could not lead us to get more benefits. Thinking of this, Wan Lin's position of Senior Brother Xinghe in her mind was raised a few points. Brother Xinghe. Wan Lin came forward to greet Chu Xinghe. Chu Xinghe looked up at the other's chest. Very big, no. It was the symbol of Chiolin Palace on the chest, and remembered that this girl was called Wan Lin. Hello, Sister Wan Lin, do you need my help with any difficulties? Chu Xinghe tried to avoid looking at things he shouldn't see. Brother Xinghe, I am also one of the 100-man team this time. I came here to thank Brother Xinghe for creating such an opportunity for everyone, but I saw Brother Xinghe frowning just now. I think he is worried about not being able to lead everyone to get more benefits. Wan Lin looked at Chu Xinghe with admiration. Chu Xinghe nodded and thought to himself, am I worried that I can't get any benefits with you? I'm thinking about how to trick you all. I'm worried because I can't think of how to trick you all. Brother Xinghe, don't worry. Although our Haotian sect is the farthest away, the elders said that we have prepared a teleportation array, which will not delay our arrival on time. Now there are still a few days before the opening of the Spirit Cave, so we have time. Besides, all the broken stone pills are in our hands. The other 3 sects will never be able to enter in advance. If we can't get there, no one can get into the Spirit Cave and get benefits. What the hell? Chu Xinghe was stunned for 3 seconds when he heard Wan Lin's words. Damn, what a good junior sister. During this trip to the Spirit Cave, Chu Xinghe has been worried about how to trick everyone. The elder said that there are dangers in the Spirit Cave, and if you are not careful, you will die, so Chu Xinghe must be extremely careful. This made Chu Xinghe feel that if he tricked everyone and killed everyone there, he would really feel uncomfortable. He wanted to destroy the Haotian sect, not to kill all of them. These brothers and sisters are all good people, so it's too difficult to not harm everyone's life and to trick everyone. But Wan Lin's words open another idea for Chu Xinghe. The opening of the Spirit Cave is time-limited. It will open at a specific time. The 3 sects have calculated that it will be 5 days later. Once the time is missed, the Spirit Cave will be automatically closed. It is unknown when it will be opened next time. Haotian sect is the farthest from the Spirit Cave. Although there is a teleportation array that allows everyone to get there quickly, there is always a chance of something happening. What if you can't make it? If you can't make it and miss the opening time of the Spirit Cave, not only Haotian sect, but also the other 3 sects can't go in, because the stone-breaking pill is in your hands. At that time, not only Haotian sect will be tricked, but also the 3 sects. If the problems on the Haotian sect side cause the disciples of the other 3 sects to be unable to cleanse their marrow and bones, will the 3 sects let it go? Good guy. Chu Xinghe is about to cry, peerless good junior sister. Chu Xinghe's originally depressed mood instantly became better after seeing Wan Lin off with excitement and joy. Today is a good day. I was thinking. Pa, this song is unlucky. Last time I sang this song, I bought 3 million Shenling grass, but ended up creating a Spirit Cave. This time, there must be no more accidents. This song must never be sung again. In the following time, the Great Elder let Chu Xinghe know how terrifying the Medicine King Palace was when it was running at full capacity. nearly 2 million shenling grass were consumed, and a large number of broken stone pills were also refined at the same time. The Great Elder divided the pills into 4 parts. The Haotian sect had the largest portion. Not to mention removing the petrified poison. Let's put it this way, even if you are trapped in the spirit cave for 10 days or half a month, you don't need to bring any rations, and you can die in it just by eating broken stone pills. In the words of the Great Elder, this is called being prepared. At the same time, the Elder also stuffed a lot of random pills to Chu Xinghe. These pills are for healing, detoxification, basically all that can be used. In addition, the Elder also took out his Elder Order and handed it to Chu Xinghe. Don't make trouble when you go out. Take this Elder Order and use it when you think you need to use it. Will you be punished like the last time with the Haotian Order? Chu Xinghe asked. Don't worry, I have reported to the sect master. The Elder Order is also given to you by me personally. As long as you don't do anything wrong, you will not be punished. The Elder's words made Chu Xinghe look disappointed. After explaining Chu Xinghe various precautions, the Elder left. As soon as the Elder left, Feng Fei came with a group of brothers from Lingyi Palace. Junior Brother Xinghe, these are all kinds of elixirs I prepared for you. Keep them well. When you go out, we must not save these elixirs if we can. Safety comes first. Feng Fei gave the elixirs to Chu Xinghe while instructing. Junior Brother Xinghe, these are the elixirs I prepared for you. And me. Good guy, all kinds of elixirs were stuffed to Chu Xinghe at once. Now, even if he is really trapped in the spirit cave for half a year, he can fill his stomach with these elixirs. Junior Brother Xinghe, take these spirit stones. When you go out, you have many places to spend money. Although these spirit stones are not much, they can solve the urgent need. Feng Fei took out another box full of high-quality spirit stones. You call this not much? Big brother, do you really understand spirit stones? Chu Xinghe was born in a poor family, so he still understands money. Ordinary people in the outside world use various gold, silver and copper coins, and there are spirit stones above gold, silver and copper coins. A piece of the lowest grade, low-grade spirit stone can be exchanged for about 1,000 gold, and few people would exchange spirit stones for gold. And 100 low-grade spirit stones can be exchanged for 1 medium-grade spirit stone, and 100 medium-grade spirit stones can be exchanged for 1 high-grade spirit stone. Chu Xinghe vaguely remembered that when he was in Haotian village, about 10 golds could allow a family of 3 to live a rich life for a year. Let's put it this way, the spirit stones that Feng Fei gave him just now are more than enough to buy everything in Haotian village 50 times. Brother Feng, how can you be so stingy? Brother Xinghe is going out for the first time, so it is inevitable that he will be short of money. What can these spirit stones do? Come on. Brother Xinghe, I still have some here, and I won't need them if you take them all. Brother Xinghe, I still have some here. You take them too. Soon, boxes were placed in front of Chu Xinghe, and pieces of high-quality spirit stones were emitting dazzling light. With so many spirit stones gathered together, Chu Xinghe found that his math ability was really bad. He couldn't even successfully calculate how many Haotian villages these spirit stones could buy. After sending off this wave of brothers, another wave came. Some gave medicine, some gave spirit stones, and some prepared various secret treasures for Chu Xinghe. It was a pity that those secret treasures were slightly higher in level and Chu Xinghe couldn't use them at all. After all the brothers left, Chu Xinghe looked at the things in the Qianquan ring given to him by the elder in silence. In the past, I always heard people say that the young man from the mountain village was going against the will of heaven, and he would slap the faces of all the young masters of wealthy families if he disagreed with them, but at this moment, Chu Xinghe just wanted to point at the face of the young man from the mountain village and ask him, "Why? Look at the things in my Qianquan ring. I don't even need to do anything, I can kill all of you in the village just by taking out the spiritual stones. Tell me why you want to counterattack me." The money and property that the brothers of Lingyi Palace have spent alone has exceeded Chu Xinghe's calculation ability. It seems that I am destined not to take a path upstream, because not only do I not need to go upstream, but even this river is mine. After a night of sweet dreams, the next morning, Chu Xinghe and the disciples selected by each palace gathered in Haotian Palace. The master of the sect actually came in person. First, the great elder gave some instructions before departure. Anyway, it was something like never doing anything wrong, not bringing shame to the reputation of Haotian sect, and then paying attention to your own safety. The sect master walked directly among all the people, his eyes swept through everyone, and finally landed on Chu Xinghe. Xinghe, as the leader of this trip, remember to be careful in what you say and do. You must protect every junior brother and sister in the Linku trip, and you must also try to bring back more resources for my Haotian sect. Don't worry, sect master. If you can't get more than 70% of the resources this time, Xinghe is willing to accept the punishment of expulsion from the sect. That the sect master was stunned. Didn't you hear me say as much as possible just now? Didn't I ask you to sign a military order? Xinghe, I know you want to win honor for the sect, but if you say you are expelled from the sect for this, will other disciples dare to lead the team in the future? The sect master laughed. What the sect master said is true, but as a leader, should act like a leader. If I can't get more than 70% of the resources this time, please deprive me of my status as a direct disciple. That the sect master was helpless. Good boy, I know you want to win honor for the sect, but there is no need to put so much pressure on yourself. The other elders also nodded when they heard it. Look, in the past, when the disciples went out, if something happened, they would blame each other, fearing that the final punishment would fall on themselves. But look at Chu Xinghe again, a good boy. As a leader, he took all the responsibilities on himself, and did not shirk responsibility. Where can you find such a leader? The master looked at Chu Xinghe's serious face, and then looked at the other elders around him nodding. Although he felt that Chu Xinghe's military order was still a bit heavy, he still nodded. As the saying goes, the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility, and the greater the responsibility, the greater the pressure. Gu Mingqiao also wants to see if Chu Xinghe can still perform perfectly under such high pressure. As for stripping the status of the direct disciple, if it can be stripped, it can also be added, right? Chapter 22, Thousand Flowers Festival. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside the Haotian Palace, a huge teleportation array has been set up on the martial arts field. The place where the spirit cave was opened this time was in the Yulin Mountains, which was too far away from the Haotian sect, so using the teleportation array to teleport to the nearest Yuchen was the fastest way. However, the teleportation array was already full of people at this moment. There were disciples from all palaces, but only the Lingyi Palace had the largest number of disciples. Gu Mingqiao took a look. Wow! Except for some disciples who had special tasks and could not leave, I am afraid that all the disciples of the Lingyi Palace were here. When he heard that Chu Xinghe was punished and the entire Lingyi Palace pleaded for Chu Xinghe, Gu Mingqiao was moved, but today he was moved again when he saw so many brothers coming to send Chu Xinghe off. But Chu Xinghe was just going to the spirit cave. Although it was dangerous, everyone knew the degree of danger of the spirit cave. Are you really like this? It's like Chu Xinghe is going to the execution ground. Brother Xinghe, have a safe trip. Brother Xinghe, show your prowess. Brother Xinghe will definitely return with a full load. This was not in Lingyi Palace. So many brothers called Chu Xinghe brother. After all, he was a direct disciple. Chu Xinghe greeted the brothers along the way, and when he came to the teleportation array, he saw that the sect master and the elder were already waiting for them, but the two of them tacitly did not interrupt Chu Xinghe's farewell with his brothers. After all, Chu Xinghe seemed to be the first person who could be liked by so many brothers in so many years. All 100 people came to the middle of the teleportation array. The sect master did not waste any more time and directly activated the teleportation array. A beam of spiritual light shot up into the sky, and Chu Xinghe felt dizzy in an instant. This was Chu Xinghe's first time riding a teleportation array. The dizzy feeling brought by this thing almost made Chu Xinghe vomit, and Chu Xinghe was still lucky, because Wan Lin, who was standing not far behind him, had already vomited on the spot. The light around them faded away, and Chu Xinghe found that they had appeared on the edge of a city. This should be the destination, Yuchen, but now looking back, wow, at least 1/3 of the 100-man group fell. What kind of shitty teleportation array is this? Is it so powerful? Brother Xinghe, ugh. Wan Lin vomited a lot while talking. and Chu Xinghe took a look. The rice dumplings for breakfast. Everyone take a rest here. We will stay in Yucheng today and set off early tomorrow morning. Chu Xinghe issued his first order after becoming the leader. Brother Xinghe, this is not good. It will delay the trip. Wan Lin reminded hurriedly, delay the trip. Humph. What I want is to delay the trip, from Haotian Sect to Yucheng. There are still 2 days before the opening of the spirit cave. If you set off normally, 1 day is enough to arrive. The reason for leaving 2 days is that the sect is afraid of encountering any unexpected situation. Chu Xinghe was still having a headache before, how to delay these 2 days, but the teleportation array gave him an opportunity. Junior sister Wan Lin, we have enough time to get to the fish scale mountains from here. We will rest in Yucheng for the rest of the day. Although it is important to seize treasures, remember that each of you is the most precious resource of my Haotian sect. Your life is much more important than any spiritual cave. That when Chu Xinghe said this, Wan Lin burst into tears on the spot. The eyes of other junior brothers and sisters looking at Chu Xinghe were also full of gratitude. You know, Chu Xinghe had signed a military order in front of everyone before. I thought Chu Xinghe would ask everyone to arrive as soon as possible and then make various plans. But I didn't expect that Senior Brother Xinghe would still put the health of junior brothers and sisters first even in this situation. Everyone put on a casual outfit outside and entered Yucheng. Yucheng is located on the edge of the Fish Scale Mountains and is also the largest city on the side of the Fish Scale Mountains. Entering Yucheng, all kinds of dazzling goods and people welcoming and seeing off on the streets interweave into the prosperity of Yucheng. Chu Xinghe remembered that the elder said that although Yucheng is big, it is not so prosperous, right? Soon Chu Xinghe knew why Yucheng was like this. It turned out that in the past few days, more than a dozen cities around jointly held a Wanhua festival. The so-called Wanhua festival is actually to select the courtesan. The courtesans from more than a dozen nearby cities gathered in Yucheng Wanhua Tower, which attracted many old perverts, not to mention the old perverts. Chu Xinghe, who considered himself a pure and honest young man, wanted to go and see. Everyone came to Fanlu, the largest inn in Yucheng. Because of the Wanhua festival in the past few days, the inns in the city were basically full. However, when Chu Xinghe slapped a piece of medium-grade spirit stone in front of the shopkeeper and told him that he wanted to book Fanlu, in less than 10 minutes, no guests could be seen in the entire Fanlu. Money can make the devil work. A piece of medium-grade spirit stone is enough for an inn like Fanlu to earn half a year. If the shopkeeper is not a mentally retarded person, he will know how to make a choice. There are hundreds of rooms in Fan building, so everyone can choose their own room freely. However, before choosing a room, Chu Xinghe still made earnest requests to all his junior brothers and sisters. We will rest here for a day and leave early tomorrow morning without delaying any itinerary, but I want to remind you, don't go to any flower festival, don't go to any courtesans, even if those courtesans are really attractive, even if you may regret it for the rest of your life, but you must control yourself. When Chu Xinghe said this, many junior sisters nodded, but the junior brothers, originally, I just heard about the flower festival and didn't think much about it, but why did I feel itchy after hearing what Senior Brother Xinghe said? Senior Brother Xinghe, this is unnecessary. As long as we don't delay the itinerary and don't violate the rules of the sect, isn't it okay? A disciple named Ma Liang said with an unhappy face, very good, the troublemaker is here. I've been waiting for you for a long time, and your efficiency is not good. Glancing at the troublemaker Ma Liang, Chu Xinghe didn't say much, and said lightly, I've said it, you just know what to do. After that, Chu Xinghe went straight to choose a room. After choosing a room, Chu Xinghe sat in the room and it was so painful. Ma Liang, you have to give some strength. Don't just talk and don't do anything. Go, the courtesans are so attractive, take the other junior brothers to see the courtesans. It would be better if some unspeakable things happened to the courtesans tonight, and it would be even more perfect if they all became weaklings the next day. Chu Xinghe stayed in the room and prayed devoutly, junior brothers. Please give strength. Crack. A barely detectable sound came from the next door, and Chu Xinghe almost jumped up excitedly. Finally, a junior brother couldn't hold back, right? I said a group of young people, at this most powerful age, who can resist the grand event of thousands of flowers? Lying on the window, Chu Xinghe crouched to see who was the first to dare to try it, Ma Liang. Or are there other thorny players hidden in the team who haven't discovered it yet? Looking closely, Chu Xinghe saw a tightly wrapped person sneaking out of Fan Lu and disappearing in the lights, but looking at the disappearing figure, Chu Xinghe was completely confused. Wan Lin. Although Wan Lin was wrapped like a zongzi, Chu Xinghe still recognized Wan Lin's identity from his special figure at a glance. Damn. The first one who couldn't stand the loneliness was not Ma Liang or other junior brothers, but Wan Lin. Little girl, do you like this? No. What if junior sister Wan Lin just wanted to go out to find something to eat? What if junior sister Wan Lin just wanted to see the excitement? And just as Chu Xinghe was constantly thinking about what if, another door opened. Ma Liang looked around furtively, especially at Chu Xinghe's room. His eyes stayed for a few seconds, and after making sure there was no problem, he slipped out of the room with a whoosh and quietly left the inn. And after Ma Liang, many junior brothers couldn't stand the loneliness and also walked out one after another. What a pity, there are less than 30 in total. This number really disappointed Chu Xinghe. Don't the remaining junior brothers love the courtesan? And those junior sisters, you should learn from junior sister Wan Lin. In fact, I am a very open-minded person. It's not that I can't accept your special hobbies, although it did not achieve the expected effect. Chu Xinghe still comforted himself. This is not a small amount. So many junior brothers went out to fight in all directions at night. Tomorrow, they will be listless. In this case, it is reasonable to take more rest on the way to take care of the junior brothers. Then because the junior brothers were too weak, the rest time was too long, and finally they didn't catch up with the opening time of the spirit cave. Then the three sects were furious and went to Haotian sect. He was first stripped of his status as a direct disciple, and then pushed out to take the blame. Even if he could not be expelled from the sect, it was not without hope to enter the outer sect. Chu Xinghe was intoxicated with his happy future. Although the courtesan was very attractive, Chu Xinghe decided to stay calm and not wave. What's good about the courtesan? It can only affect the speed of my sword drawing. When you become the martial emperor, you can find Li Kuei, not to mention the courtesan. The night gradually deepened, and Chu Xinghe was still thinking. It was understandable that other junior brothers looked for courtesans, but how could junior sister Wan Lin look for courtesans? Two beauties. Oh, the picture was too dirty to think about, but just as Chu Xinghe was clearing the dirty picture in his mind, there was a commotion outside. Along with the commotion, Chu Xinghe's door was knocked. Ma Liang walked in with the help of two junior brothers. Chu Xinghe frowned and saw a deep wound on Ma Liang's arm. Without asking any more questions, Chu Xinghe quickly took out the elixir and crushed it to treat Ma Liang's wound. The elixir of Haotian sect was extraordinary, and the wound stopped bleeding and began to heal quickly, but Chu Xinghe's eyes fell on Ma Liang and the faces of others. Chu Xinghe soon found out what happened. After Ma Liang slipped out, he went to the Wanhua festival. He had his eyes on a courtesan and wanted to win her over, but he never expected to meet a rival. After a competition, Ma Liang finally became the winner, but he never expected that the other party would get angry and attack Ma Liang. Ma Liang was caught off guard and almost had his arm cut off by a sword. Later, other junior brothers arrived, and the other party also took advantage of the chaos to escape. Everyone had no choice but to take Ma Liang to find Senior Brother Xinghe to treat his arm. Did you all turn a deaf ear to what I said? Chu Xinghe put away the pill and said lightly. Everyone has his own responsibility. Today, I have brought shame to the sect. If you want to be punished, you should report it truthfully after you go back. Ma Liang was quite tough, and even prepared to be exaggerated by Chu Xinghe when he returned. But just when Ma Liang was thinking about what punishment he would receive, Chu Xinghe's voice came to his ears. Zhang Biao. Zhao Tong. Lu Hai. Sun Xiangqian. Chu Xinghe called out one name after another, and more than a dozen junior brothers rushed over here as Chu Xinghe's voice fell. All of you come with me to the 10,000 Flowers Festival. I want to see which bastard dared to touch my junior brother. Are you tired of living? Ma Liang was stunned. Chapter 23 Angry Senior Brother Chu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ma Liang actually never liked Chu Xinghe. Everyone entered the mountain gate on the same day. Why was Chu Xinghe praised and held at the top? In Ma Liang's opinion, Chu Xinghe's everything was just luck. As for the fact that the outside world said that Chu Xinghe had a good character, Ma Liang sneered even more. There were so many people who said one thing in front of others and another behind their backs. This Chu Xinghe must be a black-bellied guy, but he hid very well and was not discovered, so although he was in the 100-man group, Ma Liang was always unconvinced. Chu Xinghe said that he was not allowed to go to the 10,000 Flowers Festival. Why? I must go. But Ma Liang didn't expect that he would encounter such a thing. Although Ma Liang regretted it, he had no way. In Ma Liang's opinion, Chu Xinghe would definitely catch him violating his orders and teach him a lesson. He would even exaggerate it in the sect after returning, and he would definitely be punished, but Ma Liang had already prepared himself mentally. At most, he would give up the status of an elite disciple. With his own strength, he could get it back sooner or later, but just when Ma Liang was waiting for Chu Xinghe to reprimand him, Chu Xinghe directly called over a dozen of his fellow apprentices. Come with me to Wanhua Tower. I want to see which bastard dares to touch my junior apprentice. Are you fucking tired of living? Chu Xinghe's words not only made Ma Liang dumbfounded, even the disciples who helped Ma Liang back were dumbfounded. They entered the sect with Ma Liang and were also disciples of the first palace. They had a very good relationship on weekdays. Today, Ma Liang violated the rules first and was attacked and injured later. Punishment was inevitable. Both of them were thinking about how to help Ma Liang plead for mercy, but they never expected that Senior Brother Xinghe did not even blame Ma Liang at all. Instead, he directly ordered people to go to Wanhua Tower. This operation stunned the two. What are you still standing there for? Let's go. Chu Xinghe waved his hand and everyone followed. A group of people came to the Wanhua Tower where the Wanhua festival was held. At this time, there were still crowds of people in front of the Wanhua Tower. It can be seen that what happened just now did not have much impact here. Ma Liang was confused until he came to the Wanhua Tower. What was Chu Xinghe going to do? While Ma Liang was stunned, Chu Xinghe had already led everyone into the Wanhua Tower, facing a group of murderous young people. The people in the Wanhua Tower obviously saw that they were not here to select the courtesan, and some people even recognized Ma Liang as the one who was attacked just now. Please stay. A guy who looked like a guard leader stepped forward to stop him, but before he finished speaking, he was kicked directly in the chest by Chu Xinghe, and the whole person flew out backwards. Boom! The table in the Wanhua Tower was smashed into a mess by the flying people. For a while, the Wanhua Tower was in chaos, and countless beautiful courtesans were also pale. Not only the people in Wanhua Tower were stunned, but also the junior brothers who came with Chu Xinghe were stunned. Is Senior Brother Xinghe so irritable? He didn't even let people finish their words before he started to attack. Countless guards surrounded them from all directions. Chu Xinghe waved his hand and said, "Let them all get down." Got it. Seeing that Senior Brother Xinghe had already started to attack, the junior brothers had nothing to hesitate about. There was no need for any spiritual soldiers at all. A group of the proud sons of the Haotian sect were the best of the best. Even if their realm was not high, they were definitely not something these little guards could resist. After 10 breaths, there was no guard who could stand at the scene. The people in Wanhua Tower were also dumbfounded. They had seen unreasonable people, but they had never heard of such unreasonable people. Can you at least explain the situation before you start to attack? What the hell is it to hit people without saying a word? All irrelevant people, get out, or you will lie down like them. If the shopkeeper of Wanhua Tower doesn't come out within 10 breaths, I will tear down Wanhua Tower today. Chu Xinghe finally spoke, and as Chu Xinghe finished speaking, a group of junior brothers were also ready to fight. The onlookers also began to retreat. 10, 9, 8. Chu Xinghe began to count down. When the countdown reached 3, a middle-aged man who looked to be in his 40s ran down the stairs. Sir, wait a minute, I am the shopkeeper of Wanhua Tower. Looking at the shopkeeper of Wanhua Tower who ran in front of him, Chu Xinghe raised his hand and pointed at Ma Liang not far away. Do you know him? No. I don't recognize him. The shopkeeper took a look and opened his mouth, but before he could finish his words, he was slapped in the face and spun 3.5 times in the air and fell to the ground with a slap. Blood mixed with a few teeth spurted out of the shopkeeper's mouth. Everyone was stunned, and Ma Liang was also stunned. At this moment, Chu Xinghe in front of him completely overturned Ma Liang's cognition. Chu Xinghe had brought people to avenge him, and Ma Liang suspected that Chu Xinghe was just pretending, but now Ma Liang knew he was wrong, very wrong. Senior Brother Xinghe was not pretending at all, he really cared about him. The shopkeeper, whose mouth was bleeding, was now covering his cheeks with tears. No, this young man had some conflicts with someone here just now. Who was the other party? Chu Xinghe's voice was full of coldness. I don't. As soon as he said the word no, he was slapped in the face. With a crisp sound, the shopkeeper's other tooth could not be saved. This is your last chance. Chu Xinghe said, directly picking up a candlestick on the table and throwing it towards the wooden stairs of Wanhua building. The candlelight lit the stairs, and the fire started. You don't have much time. If you are slow to answer, Wanhulu will be gone. Chu Xinghe had a leisurely look on his face, but the group of fellow disciples who saw this scene were dumbfounded. Sir, I am really, the Huang family, the third young master of the Huang family, Huang Xiaohua. Finally, the shopkeeper collapsed in front of the flames of Wanhua Tower. He had seen countless ruthless people, but he had never seen anyone like Chu Xinghe. Without a word of nonsense, he immediately set Wanhua Tower on fire. If he hesitated for a little longer, he would definitely be unable to save the fire. After getting the answer he wanted, Chu Xinghe waved his hand and led everyone away in a hurry without saying a word. As for Wanhua building, the shopkeeper answered quickly enough and the fire did not break out in the end, but the loss to Wanhua building was not small. Quickly, go to Huang's house to deliver the news. The shopkeeper ignored his swollen mouth and quickly gave orders to his subordinates. The shopkeeper didn't know who Chu Xinghe was, but he knew that the Huang family had definitely hit the wall this time. The shopkeeper had seen many ruthless people, but this was the first time he had seen Chu Xinghe being so unreasonable. On the other side, Chu Xinghe has returned to Fanlu with Ma Liang and others. The people who sneaked out, including Wan Lin, had all rushed back after hearing the news. When they saw Chu Xinghe coming back with people from outside, everyone immediately surrounded him. It's Huang Xiaohua, the third young master of the Huang family. Everyone, please clean up. I want to see how courageous this Huang family is to touch my junior brother. Yes. Everyone was ordered to go back to their rooms to tidy up. In the Huang family, Huang Yongtang had just finished a pleasant exchange with his concubine in the 13th room, but before he could recall those 10 seconds, he was disturbed by a rapid knock on the door. Who is it? Looking for death. Although Huang Yongtang was angry, he still opened the door and saw Huang Liang, the head butler of the Huang family, speaking eagerly. The third young master has caused trouble. Huang Liang reported everything today to Huang Yongtang, including the fact that Chu Xinghe and others almost burned down Wanhua Tower. A group of powerful young people. They're not from the Xinghe sect, are they? Huang Yongtang hesitated, but when the housekeeper said that they were not from the Xinghe sect, Huang Yongtang breathed a sigh of relief. Snort. In this 1/3 of an acre of land in Yucheng, except for people from the Xinghe sect, no one really paid attention to the Huang family. You must know that although their lineage is a branch, it is also a branch of the Pingyuan Huang family. The Huang family in Pingyuan is one of the 3 great families in the world. With the power of this family, who among the Huang family in this 3/3 of an acre of land in Yucheng should not be given some face? I know about this. Find someone to find out what these little guys are about. After Huang Yongtang's instructions, Huang Liang nodded and went to do it. On the other side, the group of 100 people had all packed up, and everyone followed Chu Xinghe without saying a word. Everyone now knows that Senior Brother Xinghe burned Wanhua Tower today. Those who were not able to go with us deeply regretted it. Is this still the Senior Brother Xinghe they know? You're so overbearing. You take action without saying a word. If you dare to say no, I will burn down the entire Wanhua building for you. When the first ray of morning light fell on the Huang family's Gaoting compound, Chu Xinghe also led a group of 100 people to the door of the Huang family. The guard in charge of the house saw the murderous hundreds and quickly reported the news. The news also quickly came to the housekeeper Huang Liang. Last night, the master asked him to check the identity of the other party. Before he could check it, the other party came unexpectedly. But this saves trouble. Huang Liang quickly found Huang Yongtang. When he heard that the other party actually knocked on the door, Huang Yongtang was so angry that he overturned the breakfast table. A bunch of little bastards simply don't know how to live or die, and they don't even bother to inquire. In Yucheng, my Huang family has no one to fear except the Xinghe sect. Huang Yongtang roared, and countless Huang family children gathered from all directions. Huang Yongtang swore that as long as anyone who came today was not a disciple of the Xinghe sect, he would make sure that the other party never came back. But just as Huang Yongtang was mobilizing his troops, a loud noise came from the front door of the Huang family. The 5-meter-long main door of the Huang family was blown away, and half of the Huang family's courtyard wall collapsed. When the dust dispersed, Huang family disciples were seen lying on the ground outside the Huang family's door. They can't really be Xinghe sect disciples. Huang Yongtang was a little confused at this moment. He dared to knock on the door so arrogantly. This was obviously not something ordinary people could do, but just as Huang Yongtang finished speaking, someone from the Huang family spoke up, "Uncle, he cannot be a disciple of the Xinghe sect. The Xinghe sect is holding a grand ceremony recently. Unless there are special reasons, the disciples will not leave the sect at all." Huang Yongtang was overjoyed when he heard this news. If it wasn't the Xinghe sect, it would be easy to handle. It seems that these are a bunch of ignorant young people. Where do they think the Huang family is? If you dare to destroy the Huang family's gate, they will all have to stay today. All the disciples of the Huang family listen to my order and make sure these ignorant brats come back today. Yes, many disciples of the Huang family shouted, and amidst their shouts, a group of 100 people headed by Chu Xinghe slowly walked over the collapsed courtyard wall into the Huang family. After everyone entered the Huang family, Chu Xinghe the outer casual clothes were torn off, and the Haotian sect's disciple uniform was revealed in front of everyone. The others behind Chu Xinghe did the same thing. All their casual clothes were torn off, and the uniform black elite disciple uniforms of the Haotian sect suddenly appeared in front of them. Sure enough, it's not the Xinghe sect. The Xinghe sect doesn't have black disciple uniforms. Huang Liang was overjoyed when he saw the uniforms of all black disciples, but his joy only lasted for a second before he was awakened by a slap in the face. The one who slapped him was none other than Huang Yongtang. Huang Yongtang also saw that they were indeed not disciples of the Xinghe sect, but the word Haotian on that disciple uniform is unique in the world. They are disciples of the Haotian sect, the world's #1 sect. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to let us know. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 24 Dream, to become a person as outstanding as Senior Brother Xinghe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Yucheng and even in the entire Yulin Mountains, the most influential existence was the Xinghe sect. The Xinghe sect is the sole overlord of this world. Therefore, although the Huang family has extraordinary power in Yucheng, the premise is that they will never provoke the Xinghe sect, and the Huang family did indeed do this. As soon as the Xinghe sect intervened, the Huang family would immediately retreat. This is why they can be so arrogant to this day. But today, the people who came are indeed not from the Xinghe sect, but these people are much scarier than the Xinghe sect. The #1 Haotian sect in the world. If the Xinghe sect is the ruler of the fish scale mountains, then the Haotian sect is the overlord of the world. Even as powerful as the Xinghe sect, they still tremble in front of the Haotian sect. At this moment, the black Haotian sect disciple uniform made Huang Yongtang feel his scalp numb. The clothes of ordinary Haotian sect disciples are gray, and only elite disciples wear black. These are all elite disciples of the Haotian sect, and what's even more terrifying is that the person standing at the front has cloud patterns embroidered on his black disciple uniform, and star patterns. Huang Yongtang couldn't turn his head around. Core disciples can be bordered by gold threads, and the cloud patterns and star patterns represent direct disciples. In other words, the person standing at the front is a direct disciple of Haotian sect. Huang Yongtang was a little out of breath. Yesterday, the shopkeeper of Wanhulu sent news that the Huang family might have hit an iron plate. This is not an iron plate. This is an iron mountain. The head of the Huang family comes out to speak. Chu Xinghe spoke coldly. Huang Yongtang trembled when he heard this voice, and then looking at the Huang family disciples around him, he quickly said, "Zai Zai Zai, I am Huang Yongtang, the head of the Huang family." Huang Yongtang quickly ran out of the crowd and ran up to meet Chu Xinghe. When he came to Chu Xinghe, Huang Yongtang put on a flattering smile on his face, but before Huang Yongtang could speak again, there was a crisp sound. Chu Xinghe slapped the unsuspecting Huang Yongtang directly in the face with a big slap. Huang Yongtang staggered to the point of being slapped and almost lost his balance. Huang Yongtang was dumbfounded. The Huang family was also dumbfounded. Even Chu Xiong and the junior brothers and sisters here were dumbfounded. This Huang Yongtang is a 5th-grade martial spirit. Although he is really useless in the Haotian sect, if a 5th-grade martial spirit really wants to take action, it is probably not easy for them to stand out with so many 2nd-grade martial arts masters. After all, there is a gap of 3 levels. Even if they are good enough, there is no use in large numbers. The sudden slap wiped away all the flattery on Huang Yongtang's face. At this moment, the humiliation and anger made his face extremely ferocious. His spiritual power surged crazily, as if he wanted to tear Chu Xinghe into pieces. "I'll kill you." Huang Yongtang's spiritual power surged out and he flew towards Chu Xinghe, but Chu Xinghe stood motionless, letting the terrifying spiritual light come to him. Everyone thought that Chu Xinghe would be blown away directly by the spiritual light, but the spiritual light stopped less than 10 centimeters away from Chu Xinghe. Chu Xinghe looked at the paused spiritual light in front of him with disdain. "You still have some backbone, but not much. Do you really want to kill all of us? You can try to bet that my Haotian sect has no information and hundreds of elite disciples have been killed without any clues. Of course, you can also the lives of all of you in the Huang family will be bet on whether I, the Haotian sect, will be merciful or I will slaughter your entire Huang family." Chu Xinghe spoke very calmly, but every word struck Huang Yongtang's heart like a heavy hammer. He couldn't afford to offend the Xingyue sect, let alone the Haotian sect. Even a behemoth like the Pingyuan Huang family would never dare to easily become an enemy of the Haotian sect. Hundreds of elite disciples all died in the Huang family in one day. If the Haotian sect could let the Huang family go, it would be a ghost. It is estimated that the entire Yuqing will have to be slaughtered cleanly, and all the earthworms will have to be dug out and chopped up. You have to shake the eggs to loosen them. Not only Yuqing, but even the Huang family in Pingyuan will have to bear the wrath of Haotian sect's thunder. Huang Yongtang couldn't afford this price, and the Huang family couldn't afford it, so even if he was slapped by Chu Xinghe as a 5th-grade man, he still endured it in the end. "Young hero, is there any misunderstanding?" The ferocity on Huang Yongtang's face disappeared, replaced by flattery. "Misunderstanding? There is no misunderstanding. Hand over Huang Xiaohua. He will slash my junior brother with a sword. I only want one of his arms. That it makes sense to cut someone with a sword and only need one of your arms, right?" Huang Yongtang felt that it would not be too much if Haotian sect did this. However, Huang Yongtang lost his son in his early years. His first 2 sons all died at the hands of women. This 3rd son, Huang Xiaohua, is his only flesh and blood. He has always been doted on by heaven. How can he want an arm from his only son now? That's acceptable. Young hero. I have also heard about the dog. Please forgive him for once because of his young age and ignorance. In this way, how about I give something to compensate young hero's junior brother? Huang Yongtang said as he spoke. He had already taken out a treasure box from his own Qinquan ring. When the treasure box was opened, spiritual light shone out, and the eyes of the Huang family, which contained half of the high-grade spiritual stones in the box, turned red. Young master, I don't care about the faults of others. I will consider these as compensation for you. Before Huang Yongtang could finish his words, Chu Xinghe kicked over the box of spiritual stones, a box of medium-grade spiritual stones. Who are you insulting here? Do you know how many high-grade spiritual stones there are in Laozi's Qinquan ring? If you take it out, it will fill up your entire Huang family. Isn't it insulting for you to take out the middle-grade spiritual stone? If Huang Xiaohua doesn't show up within 10 breaths, I'll leave immediately. Chu Xinghe didn't give Huang Yonghua any time to think at all, and the countdown started before he finished speaking. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. When Chu Xinghe counted to 2, still no one stood up, but just when Chu Xinghe was about to leave, Huang Yongtang spoke, "Bring Huang Xiaohua here." Huang Yongtang's voice was indescribably desolate, but he knew that this was the last chance. If Chu Xinghe turned around and left, it would definitely not be as simple as asking for Huang Xiaohua's arm. Soon, the Huang family brought Huang Xiaohua, who was struggling crazily. "Dad, don't do it, save your son, I don't dare to do it anymore. I won't fight with him. I was wrong." Huang Xiaohua was so scared that he peed his pants. "Do it yourself." Chu Xinghe didn't even look at Huang Xiaohua, but spoke to Ma Liang. "Yes." Ma Liang had been holding back his anger for a long time. At this moment, without saying a word, he raised the knife and dropped it. His screams were accompanied by blood spilling into the Huang family compound. Huang Xiaohua fainted on the spot. Master Huang will have to discipline his children more in the future. Not everyone is as easy to talk to as me. Chu Xinghe looked at Huang Yongtang, who was slumped on the ground, and left without looking back. The group of 100 people followed Chu Xinghe's footsteps and stepped over the collapsed wall of the Huang family. The onlookers outside suddenly made way for them. Chu Xinghe led the people away calmly under the gazes of countless people. Seeing Chu Xinghe and others disappearing at the end, many young people on the street were fascinated. "Brother, is this the legendary Haotian sect? That's too overbearing. If the 5th level martial spirit realm says to slap him in the face, he will slap him in the face. If he wants his son's hand, he has to find his son himself. How can it be that the #1 sect in the world has a false reputation? Dad, I've thought about it. I don't want to go to the Xingyue sect, I want to go to the Haotian sect. Child, let's go home and wash up and sleep." The gate of the Huang family was destroyed. Chu Xinghe beat the head of the Huang family, and chopped off Huang Xiaohua's arm spread like the wind throughout Yucheng. The shopkeeper of Wanhula touched his swollen cheeks. Even at this moment, he was still covered in cold sweat when he recalled it. Haotian sect. Those killing gods turned out to be from the Haotian sect. Fortunately, I didn't hesitate to tell Huang Xiaohua, otherwise my cheeks would have been swollen. Wanhua Tower was probably really burned down, and my little his life may be gone. The Haotian sect is an existence that is above everything else. At noon, outside Yucheng, Chu Xinghe led everyone to set off with a calm expression, but all the junior brothers and sisters behind him had gloomy expressions. "Senior Brother Xinghe, it's all my fault this time. It's all because I didn't listen to you that caused so many troubles. It's definitely too late to rush to the spiritual cave now." Ma Liang said with tears streaming down his face. Although the other brothers didn't say anything, there was something strange in their eyes. "What are you looking at?" Although Ma Liang did not follow my order this time, as he said, there is nothing wrong with what he did, as there is no stipulation in the sect rules, and being attacked by surprise is not what Ma Liang wants. As for delaying the trip, it was my decision, so fellow juniors and juniors, don't bear grudges against Ma Liang. Even if we really fail to catch up, the responsibility is all mine, and I will bear all the punishment regardless of the sect. Woo-woo. Ma Liangjin cried this time. Ma Liang hugged Chu Xinghe's thigh and cried while slapping himself loudly. "Senior Brother Xinghe. I am not a human being. I am narrow-minded. I have always heard people say that Senior Brother Xinghe is kind-hearted. I have always thought that Senior Brother Xinghe is a two-faced person, so I deliberately contradicted you. Senior Brother Xinghe, I was wrong. I was really wrong. Ma Liang cried like a tearful person. The people around him looked at Chu Xinghe with respect in their eyes at this moment. Everyone knew that Chu Xinghe issued a military order before coming to the spirit cave. However, because of the discomfort caused by the teleportation array, Chu Xinghe still asked everyone to have a good rest. This was out of consideration for every junior brother and sister. After that, Ma Liang disobeyed the order and went out privately and got into trouble. But what Chu Xinghe did first was not to punish Ma Liang, but to lead people to find the real culprit and punish the real culprit severely. He would never allow anyone to harm his junior brother, nor would he allow anyone to hurt him. Damage the reputation of Haotian sect. As for the delay in time, no one resented Chu Xinghe. Everyone asked themselves, if they were Senior Brother Xinghe, would they be able to protect their junior brothers and the sect despite the military order and subsequent punishments? 30% of the 100-man group followed Chu Xinghe to obtain the spiritual weapons. Like Wan Lin, they had no doubts about Senior Brother Xinghe's character, but the remaining 70% came from various palaces. They had very little contact with Chu Xinghe and most of them heard about it. However, in just one day and one night, these 70 people, including Ma Liang, the thorn in the side, had a completely new understanding of Brother Xinghe. Understanding, he is as warm as spring to his fellow students, and as cruel to his enemies as cold winter. He knows that delaying the trip to the spiritual cave will result in heavy punishment, but he is still willing to bear it alone without harming any junior fellow apprentices. Where can I find such a peerless good senior brother? Ma Liang wiped away the tears on his face. He swore that this was the last time he cried in his life. From this moment on, he would become an outstanding person like Senior Brother Xinghe. No. I may never be able to reach the level of Senior Brother Xinghe, but as long as I can learn 1/10,000th of it, it will be enough for my whole life. Chapter 25, Did I Travel Through Time? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Haotian Palace, in front of the Haotian Mirror, Sect Master Gu Mingchao, the Great Elder, and the first elders of each palace are all here at this time. The picture that appears on the Haotian Mirror in front of them is the picture of the 100-man group. Although the Haotian sect is the #1 sect in the world, Chu Xinghe and other little guys are all young and inexperienced. In this case, how can the elders of the sect be completely at ease? Although no one mentioned this matter, in fact, everything that happened since they arrived in Yuqing was under the silent attention of these big guys. At this moment, looking at what happened in the Haotian Mirror in one day and one night, everyone was silent. In the end, it was the sect master who broke the silence. Good, fearless in danger, brave and resourceful, and not procrastinating, this little guy Xinghe, good. The sect master used 3 good words in a row. The great elder's face was almost smiling like a chrysanthemum. At the beginning, after Chu Xinghe's order was violated by Ma Liang was attacked and injured. To be honest, even the first reaction of the great elder was to punish Ma Liang for disrespecting the leader and bringing discredit to the sect. This crime is not light. If Chu Xinghe really reported to the sect, regardless of whether he was sent to the outer sect, Ma Liang's status as an elite disciple would definitely be revoked. Moreover, he, a disciple of Haotian sect, was attacked by a sword and almost had his arm cut off. Even if he returned to the sect, he would inevitably become a laughingstock among all his fellow disciples, but Chu Xinghe did not do so. He led his men to kill Wanhua Tower as soon as possible, burned Wanhua Tower and forced the shopkeeper to reveal the real culprit. Even the great elder was stunned. At that time, many elders wondered why Chu Xinghe thought the shopkeeper knew. Later, it was the sect master who answered everyone's questions. Xinghe is a really quick-witted kid. If the owner of Wanhua Tower encounters a normal fight at a big event like the Wanhua Festival, he must have asked the guards to stop it immediately. If there are casualties, it is inevitable to capture the perpetrator. But what did Wanhua Tower do at that time? They didn't even chase or care about it. If the owner said that he didn't know who the other party was, no one would believe it. Chu Xinghe was not at the scene at that time, but he made a decision instantly based on the descriptions of his 2 junior brothers and some clues after he arrived at the scene. He took action without saying a word and swept across the entire Wanhua Tower with thunder and lightning, catching Wanhua Tower off guard, then throwing candles to ignite Wanhua Tower became the last straw that broke the camel's back. The owner collapsed directly and didn't dare to hide anything. After that, everyone guessed that Chu Xinghe might report the matter to the sect for handling, but everyone guessed wrong again. Leading a team of 100 people, he blasted open the gate of the Huang family in the early morning. He didn't care about the bullshit Pingyuan Huang family branch. He went up and gave a 5th-grade martial spirit a big bag. What satisfied the sect leader the most was that Chu Xinghe revealed his identity before taking action. This was the biggest confidence for him to dare to take action against the 5th-grade martial spirit. Facts proved that Chu Xinghe did the right thing. He didn't want any bullshit spiritual stone compensation. He had to cut off a hand as the price for cutting my junior brother with a sword. When hearing Chu Xinghe's request, many elders couldn't help shaking their heads and sighing. Xinghe is a kid, he is too kind. If it were me, I would at least kill Huang Xiaohua if I didn't kill the whole Huang family. Elder Zhang, what you said is wrong. Why kill the whole family? Since Huang Xiaohua did it, just torture him to death. At most, torture Huang Yongtang together. Cut off one arm of each of the others as a light punishment. Elder Zhang is right. Xinghe is a kid who is good in everything, but too kind. No one thinks that Chu Xinghe's behavior is too arrogant and overbearing, because they are the world's #1 sect, Haotian sect. If Chu Xinghe really knows that the Huang family will not dare to come to the door in the future, but come back to report to the sect, although it is reasonable, it will really disappoint everyone. You took your junior brother out. Let's not talk about whether your junior brother made a mistake. Your junior brother was chopped, but you don't even dare to take revenge. How can you shoulder the burden of Haotian sect in the future? But today, whether it is the sect master or any elder, they are all very satisfied with Chu Xinghe's actions. So many of them actually want to see what kind of character Chu Xinghe and these disciples have in front of the Haotian mirror. You know, some disciples are like good kids in front of their elders, but what about after they go out? They are like wild dogs that have run away from their reins, and they do a lot of things wrongly. As the leader of Chu Xinghe this time, everyone also wants to know what Chu Xinghe is like when he goes out and thinks he is out of the supervision of his elders, and this time Chu Xinghe's performance was recognized by everyone. This child is really sincere. He is the same outside as he is in the sect. As long as his fellow disciples are in trouble, he will take action at all costs, even if he may be severely punished. But Chu Xinghe still does not retreat at all. This kid is so carefree, but everyone else is worried about Chu Xinghe being punished for missing the spirit cave time. Hehe, look at how pale they are. They act like little tigers when facing the Huang family, but they are so scared when facing the sect. Don't be too strict with your disciples in the future, especially you, the great elder. Sect Master Gu Mingqiao couldn't help but complain for the children. Master, you don't know that I was strict with my disciples in the past. Since Xinghe entered my Lingyi Palace, there are very few disciples who are punished in Lingyi Palace. This child is taken care of by many senior brothers and is unwilling to forget his roots. As long as his senior brothers are in trouble, he will definitely be the first to jump out and plead for mercy. Even if I want to punish him together, he will not back down. So now, my temper in Lingyi Palace has improved a lot. The elders nodded and envied. It's a pity that there is no disciple like Chu Xinghe in their own mountain. Gu Mingqiao and a group of elders were talking and laughing, as if they didn't care about missing the Lingku at all. If Chu Xinghe was here at this moment, he would definitely see at a glance that there was something wrong. It's a pity that Chu Xinghe is not here. Outside Yucheng, everyone has set foot on the road to the Lingku. After many rigorous calculations, Chu Xinghe found that unless they could fly, they would definitely not be able to get there, even at the fastest speed. Although he was extremely happy and even wanted to persuade his junior brothers and sisters to give up and go home on the spot, he still had to pretend, so Chu Xinghe showed an anxious look, as if he wanted to fly to the Ling Cave in the Fish Scale Mountains, until the evening. Everyone was still some distance away from the Ling Cave. Wan Lin, who was panting and heaving up and down, couldn't help but sigh. Senior Brother Xinghe. I'm afraid it's too late. The final deadline given by the sect is the evening. If you can't get to the Ling Cave at this time, then the Ling Cave will be closed, and everyone will no longer have the opportunity to enter the Ling Cave. No matter whether we have missed the opening time of the Ling Cave, we have to rush over. Even if we really missed it, we must at least give an explanation to the 3 sections. Remember, we are the world's #1 sect, Haotian sect. We can't choose to escape from anything, we have to face it. Chu Xinghe's words made the junior brothers and sisters cry. Senior Brother Xinghe actually knew that he couldn't make it, but he didn't take everyone back to the sect, but chose to go to the spirit cave to face the accusations of the 3 sections. Even at this time, Senior Brother Xinghe did not shirk any responsibility. This mind and responsibility really made everyone ashamed. Senior Brother Xinghe. Ma Liang opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but was scolded back by Chu Xinghe. Return to the team, this matter has nothing to do with you, even if you return to the sect, you are absolutely not allowed to talk nonsense, hear me. Ma Liang nodded silently and gritted his teeth to prevent tears from flowing down. Everyone knew that Senior Brother Xinghe scolded Ma Liang so much because he was afraid that Ma Liang would really get angry. After all, missing the spirit cave was too serious. If Ma Liang's actions were known by the sect, it would not be a matter of entering the outer sect. It is not impossible to abolish his cultivation and be expelled from the sect. Ma Liang couldn't bear such a big disaster, and even none of them could bear it. Only Senior Brother Xinghe, although he was also severely punished, at least he would not be expelled from the sect. But even so, everyone knew that Senior Brother Xinghe would face a thunderous punishment. But even so, Senior Brother Xinghe still didn't change his expression, and he was defending Ma Liang, who had been a thorn in the side before. In fact, everyone knew that if Ma Liang was replaced by any of them and made a mistake, Senior Brother Xinghe would still take it for them. This is the real leader, who not only has responsibility, but can also take all the blame. Don't be fussy, let's continue. Chu Xinghe was in a good mood. Now the time has passed the deadline for the spirit cave. No matter what happened before, just missing the spirit cave is enough for him to be severely punished. Moreover, Chu Xinghe could imagine that the disciples of the other 3 sects could not enter the spirit cave because they could not get the broken stone pills from them, thus missing a great opportunity. The 3 sects were not soft persimmons. Because Chu Xinghe's mistake caused so many people to lose the opportunity, the 3 sects would have to make a big fuss in Haotian sect. At that time, even the great elder, the mastermind behind the scenes, would not be able to save himself. Then what punishment would he receive? The direct disciple would definitely be gone. It is estimated that he would not be expelled from the sect directly, but he would definitely be sent to the outer sect. Haotian sect must give an explanation to the 3 sects, right? From the direct disciple to the outer sect. It's cool. With a comfortable body, Chu Xinghe rushed to the location of the spirit cave in the middle of the night. The disciples of the 3 sects had gathered in one place, but the scene of them jumping up and down in anger did not appear as he imagined. Just when Chu Xinghe was wondering if these guys were all angry and stupid, a young man wearing the uniform of a disciple of Xinghue's sect walked towards Chu Xinghe. You must be Senior Brother Xinghe, right? I am Guoqizhen of Xinghue's sect, and the leader of this Xinghe sect team. I didn't expect that Haotian sect arrived half a day earlier. Already. Arrived. Early. Half. Day. Chu Xinghe's first reaction at this moment was, did I travel through time? Chapter 26 No more acting. Show your cards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Guoqizhen found the leaders of Dongyue Pavilion and Baiming City, and introduced them to Chu Xinghe, but Chu Xinghe didn't even hear their names clearly. At this moment, Chu Xinghe had only one question in his mind, did I travel through time? Quick. Tell me quickly, did I travel through time? Ding dong. System activation or something like that. According to the routine, shouldn't the sound of the host has been selected to start the road against the sky appear in my ears at this time? But there was no sound. Chu Xinghe looked at his junior brothers and sisters behind him, they were as Spartan as himself. Is this a group travel? Chu Xinghe's first reaction was that their group of 100 people traveled through time together. But soon the dream of traveling through time was shattered. From Guoqijian, Chu Xinghe knew that they did not travel through time, nor did they miss the spirit cave, because from the beginning, the opening time of the spirit cave was tomorrow. The disciples of the three sects thought that the Haotian sect, which was the farthest away, would arrive tomorrow morning, but there was no problem until the evening, so naturally they were not in a hurry, but Chu Xinghe galloped all the way. I thought I had missed the time, but when I arrived, I found out that this spiritual cave will not be opened until tomorrow. Chu Xinghe was stunned, but just when Chu Xinghe was stunned, the junior brothers and sisters behind Chu Xinghe suddenly cheered. Wan Lin hugged Chu Xinghe, not caring about whether it would cause any inconvenience, and roared wildly. Ma Liang knelt on the ground and kowtowed to the sky, as if his prayers had worked. Among the cheering crowd, only Chu Xinghe had a bitter face. What about the heavy punishment promised? What about missing it? It's too hard. The people of the three sects were confused by the behavior of the Haotian sect, and they thought to themselves, are the people of the Haotian sect mentally abnormal? But at this moment, in front of the Haotian mirror, a group of old guys were laughing. Ha ha ha. Look at the expression on Xinghe's face. It seems that he is not really afraid of punishment. He acted calm before, but now he heard that he caught up. The bitter expression on his face is the contrast of joy. Yes. This kid is still a child after all. He acted indifferent before because he didn't want to burden his junior brothers and sisters. But he didn't expect that you, the master, would be a step ahead. You were afraid that these children would miss the opportunity, so you gave them one day earlier. He. After all, it's the first time for these children to go out. It's better to be safe than sorry. But this kid's expression now is really funny. The elder also laughed so hard. In front of the spirit cave, a group of junior brothers and sisters didn't care whether the three sects thought they were crazy or not. They surrounded Chu Xinghe and cheered wildly. Brother Xinghe. I said, those who have ambitions will not be let down by heaven. Yes. People like Brother Xinghe, even heaven will not let him be punished. God bless Haotian. God bless Haotian. A group of disciples of Haotian sect shouted frantically, and these 4 words made Chu Xinghe hold his head. Whenever he heard these 4 words, nothing good would happen. It must be because I sang good days. It must be because of this, too unlucky. The people of Haotian sect set up camp. Chu Xinghe looked at a group of people who didn't feel tired at all after rushing all day, but sang and danced in front of the campfire. He didn't know what to say. Chu Xinghe swore that if he had known this, he would definitely take them back to Haotian sect directly, and pretended. What's the point of pretending? Pretend to be gone. But it's too late to say anything now. Now he can only consider how to operate in the spirit cave. I have signed a military order. In addition to the spiritual liquid for washing marrow and strengthening bones, I have to fight for the remaining 70% and bring it back to Haotian sect. If I fail to complete it, I will also be stripped of my status as a direct disciple. If you count it this way, I still have a chance. And the chance is very big. Everyone sang and danced, and fell asleep very late, but all the junior brothers and sisters were very happy. I don't know how many people woke up from their dreams with laughter that night, and I don't know how many disciples of the three sects suspected that Haotian sect was all crazy. Early the next morning, Chu Xinghe found Guoqijian and so, because he really didn't remember the names of these 2 people. I am Fan Sheng. Humph. Even if Haotian sect is the number 1 sect in the world, my Dongyue pavilion is one of the top 10 sections. You, the leader of Haotian sect, can't even remember my name. Are you insulting our Dongyue pavilion? Fan Sheng was very angry. He. I'm Sun Xueheng. Senior Brother Fan is right, the Haotian sect is too arrogant. Chu Xinghe was helpless, but didn't want to explain. You said the Haotian sect was arrogant, right? Yes, we are arrogant. Go out and ruin the reputation of my Haotian sect, and pull the Haotian sect down from the position of the world's number 1 sect, please. Regardless of the 2 people's dissatisfaction, Chu Xinghe took out the broken stone pill as agreed. After a sufficient amount of broken stone pill was distributed, Fan Sheng and Sun Xueheng eased a little, but the two still ignored Chu Xinghe, but pulled Guqizhen aside to discuss something. Chu Xinghe was overjoyed when he saw this scene. This is to isolate us. Great! You three sects unite to isolate our Haotian sect. When the time comes, you will grab all the spiritual liquid, and it is best not to leave any for us. Back to their side, Wan Lin and Ma Liang came up. Senior Brother Xinghe, are they trying to isolate us? Wan Lin frowned. Didn't we agree to advance and retreat together? Ma Liang was also very angry. Alas, it's my fault. I was distracted yesterday because I didn't miss the spirit cave, and I didn't even remember the name of the leader. They said that our Haotian sect was too arrogant and conceited. Just say it. We are afraid of being isolated by them. Wan Lin didn't think that Senior Brother Xinghe had any problem because Chu Xinghe didn't remember his name and made him unhappy. Ma Liang also nodded vigorously. Now whatever Senior Brother Xinghe said was right. If you follow Senior Brother Xinghe's footsteps, you can fly higher and higher. The three sects should have reached some kind of small agreement, because none of the three sects were willing to come to communicate with the Haotian sect. The Haotian sect didn't think anything of it either. After all, the Haotian sect had the largest number of people and was not afraid of them. Time passed little by little until the time for the spirit cave to open. On the mountain wall, the broken runes began to flash, and under the light, the door of the spirit cave also opened. This is the road to the spirit cave. Ma Liang took the lead to be a pioneer in exploring the way, but was stopped by Chu Xinghe. Are you stupid? Let them do the scouting. If they don't move, we won't move. Okay. Ma Liang nodded without any doubt. The same idea actually appeared in the three sections. After all, no one knows what they will face as soon as they enter the spirit cave. Although people from Xinghue's sect have come to explore the way before and know that there are petrified poisonous insects inside, how many petrified poisonous insects are there? Are there other dangerous things? No one can tell clearly. It is definitely risky to be the first to enter at this time. The three sects looked at Haotian sect again and found that Haotian sect did not move at all, and they did not move either. Time passed by minute, from noon to dusk. The spirit cave was about to close, but the people on both sides still did not move. Chu Xinghe looked at the eyes of Sun Xueheng and Fan Sheng looking at him without panic. As long as they did not move, Chu Xinghe would definitely not move. At worst, they would wait for the spirit cave to close, and then they would go home to be punished. That would be perfect, but just when Chu Xinghe was imagining that the other party would really stick with him to the end, Fan Sheng, who had the hottest temper, could not help it. Haotian sect, as the world's #1 sect, used to lead the way. I didn't expect this generation of disciples to be so afraid of death. As timid as mice. Keep your mouth shut, you are playing moral kidnapping, right? Why should the world's #1 sect be the first to enter? The Xingyue sect discovered this spiritual cave first, and there are many people in your three families. Shouldn't you go in front? You. Guqizhen didn't expect Chu Xinghe to turn around and spit at him. Stop arguing, the spiritual cave will be closed if you keep arguing. The people of Haotian sect don't dare to go first. Let's go. In the end, Sun Xueheng gritted his teeth and spoke. Others had no choice but to follow, and the people of the three sects began to enter the spiritual cave one after another. The rune light of the spiritual cave began to dim gradually. When the light completely dissipated, it would really be impossible to enter. Seeing that all the people from the three sects had entered, Chu Xinghe did not choose to enter immediately, but waiting for the rune light to continue to dim. Finally, the rune light began to flicker, which was a sign that the spiritual cave was about to close. Let's go. Let's go in. At the command, everyone passed through the runes and stepped into the spirit cave. What came into view was a ruined underground city. This should be an ancient relic, but before everyone could see clearly what the ancient relic was like, Chu Xinghe spoke again. Everyone, go back the same way. Ah. Hearing Chu Xinghe's order, most people were stunned for a moment. You know, the spirit cave has begun to close at this time. If you go out now, you really can't come in again. If it was before Yuchen, facing Chu Xinghe's order, no one else would say. Ma Liang would definitely be the first to jump out and accuse Chu Xinghe of having ulterior motives, but now, after receiving the order, Ma Liang was the first to follow Chu Xinghe, and he didn't even hesitate about Brother Xinghe's order. Naturally, the others didn't hesitate, and they all followed. Chu Xinghe was also desperate at this time. No more acting. The cards are revealed. In order not to get the spirit liquid, I will go back to the city directly and ask you how you lose. I did the opposite and asked everyone to leave the spirit cave. Let alone the spiritual liquid, the disciples didn't even have the chance to cleanse their marrow and strengthen their bones. Who can beat me in this round? As for the reason, Chu Xinghe had thought about it. He felt the warning from the Haotian sword box as soon as he came in. He subconsciously wanted to lead everyone to retreat. Wasn't it okay without thinking so much? The reason is not important. What's important is whether there is a punishment. Chu Xinghe almost laughed out loud in his heart. He pitied his teammates so clearly. This time he was safe. But the laughter didn't last for a second. The world in front of him made Chu Xinghe confused. It was still a ruined underground city, but why was there still a green light flashing here? Shouldn't I appear outside the spirit cave? What the hell is this? Is this really a time travel? Window_tabula equals window_tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula below article feed, placement, below article feed, target _type, mix. Chapter 28 Haotian is immortal, Haoqi lasts forever. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Some of the disciples of Haotian sect may not understand the way to hand over the city gate to the other party, but everyone supports Senior Brother Xinghe's approach 100%, after all, Senior Brother Xinghe has never made a mistake along the way, and even the intuition that sounds unreliable can still convince everyone. Ma Liang took the position of the pioneer and led a team to explore in front, however. All the way forward, let alone the strange stone statues, there is no threat here except for those green bugs that occasionally run up and petrify and poison, and the road is so flat, which makes everyone feel like they are visiting the underground city, not like they are here to grab treasures. On the other side, the three sects have already broken into the statue group. The stone shells outside these statues suddenly broke, and a group of things that look like ghouls drilled out of the statues. The disciples of the three sects immediately fought a bloody battle with the statues. Chu Xinghe and his men were strolling around on the other side. He could even hear the sounds of fighting and knew that a war was definitely going to start there, but what does that have to do with him? His goal is to have no gains. It's not easy to find treasures, but isn't it easy to get them for free? Can't I just treat it as a day trip to the dungeon? After all, whose intuition hasn't been wrong, right? But just as Chu Xinghe was wandering around leisurely, Ma Liang, who was responsible for exploring the way ahead, ran towards him like a wild dog. Senior Brother Xinghe. Senior Brother Xinghe. Ma Liang's hands trembled with excitement, and the other junior brothers behind him were all red-eyed. Damn! Nothing will go wrong, right? Chu Xinghe was panicking. Senior Brother Xinghe's intuition is really amazing. In front, the spiritual liquid is actually in front. Hearing this news, the disciples of Haotian sect around him were shocked. Everyone looked at Senior Brother Xinghe with astonishment. Chu Xinghe. No. Ma Liang, say it again. Brother Xinghe's intuition is really amazing, the spiritual liquid is actually in front. Ma Liang really repeated it. Chu Xinghe felt dizzy and almost let Ma Liang send him away on the spot. Ma Liang, you are really a disaster. I just want to lead everyone to gain nothing, so what? I just want the sect to suffer losses and then punish me. Why is it so difficult? At this moment, there is no need for Chu Xinghe to say anything. Everyone rushed forward. Sure enough. In an extremely empty area, a pool of spiritual liquid stayed there quietly like a blue mirror. but the spiritual energy emitted showed that it was indeed spiritual liquid. On the other side, the three sects fought bloody statues, but these statues were as hard as stone, and they would also release a strange petrification wave. Every time they were hit by the petrification wave, they had to take a lot of stone-breaking pills to get rid of it, but the three sects did not have so many stone-breaking pills. At this moment, some disciples were already in danger because they were about to finish taking the stone-breaking pills. Everyone hold on, we'll win if we rush over. Fan Xing raised his sword and shouted loudly, but as soon as he finished speaking, a strange sound came from afar. The next second, the city gate opened, and behind the city gate, the dense stone shells of the statues began to peel off. They woke up from their slumber and rushed towards the three sects with a roar. Haotian sect. Brother Xinghe, what should we do now? Ma Liang, who claimed to be a lucky general, looked at Chu Xinghe with a smile. What else can I do? I'm here. Let's wash. Chu Xinghe was helpless. What else can I do now? Please ask Brother Xinghe to go down first. It is said that the first person to go down has the most concentrated spiritual energy. Yes, this opportunity must be given to Brother Xinghe. If Brother Xinghe doesn't go down first, I won't obey anyone. Soon, Chu Xinghe was elected as the first to go down the spiritual liquid. In the midst of countless people watching, Chu Xinghe entered the spiritual liquid. He didn't really need to take a bath. As long as he got close to the spiritual liquid, the spiritual energy of the spiritual liquid would automatically consume a part of it to cleanse Chu Xinghe's marrow and bones. The spiritual energy like spring breeze entered Chu Xinghe's body. In an instant, Chu Xinghe felt his whole body burning hot, and his bones and flesh were sublimated. At the same time, his own cultivation also stepped directly from the peak of the second-grade martial artist to the ranks of the third-grade great martial artist. Before, the doom compass helped him directly reach the peak of the second grade, and now the spiritual liquid actually allowed him to complete a breakthrough. Congratulations to Senior Brother Xinghe for breaking through to the great martial master level. As expected of Senior Brother Xinghe, we entered together, but Senior Brother Xinghe is already at the third level. Stop talking nonsense, let's go to the spiritual liquid in turn. Everyone lined up. Ma Liang was the first to find the spiritual liquid as the pioneer, so he got the second chance to enter. After all, the earlier you enter, the stronger your spiritual power. Ma Liang excitedly gave an acceptance speech on the spot. Thank you Senior Brother Xinghe for trusting me all the way, even when I was a thorn, I still didn't give up on myself, and gave me a chance, which made me achieve what I have now. In short, follow Senior Brother Xinghe, and you will achieve anything. Ma Liang completed the marrow cleansing and bone cutting, and his cultivation level also went from the early second level to the peak of the second level, one step away from the third level. Wan Lin, who was the first to become Senior Brother Xinghe's little fangirl, entered third. Wan Lin didn't have a long acceptance speech, just one sentence, I will go wherever Senior Brother Xinghe points. After that, other disciples entered one after another, but the senior brothers were still a little disappointed that the spiritual liquid did not require them to take off their clothes to wash in. Of course, senior sister Wan Lin was also a little disappointed. The group of 100 people have all completed the marrow cleansing and bone cutting with spiritual liquid. They are worthy of being elite disciples of the Haotian sect. Everyone has reached the peak of the second level. Although there is still a gap between the third level and the third level, their strength has definitely increased dramatically. Senior Brother Xinghe, let's take all the remaining spiritual liquid away. That should be the exit over there. I'm afraid the third sect is going to be doomed. After Ma Liang finished speaking, many people nodded. From the other side of the city, you could hear screams and fighting. You can imagine how brutal the battlefield was. If one of the three sects failed, the whole army might even be wiped out, but now they can get everything by doing nothing. But just when everyone nodded, Chu Xinghe said, no. We are going to save people. Ah. Ma Liang was puzzled. After all, which path to choose is each sect's own choice. It has nothing to do with the Haotian sect, so why should he be saved? Among the 10 major sects, the Haotian sect ranks first. I think back then when the demonic way was rampant and the 10 major sects joined forces to fight against the demonic way, they could be said to be in the same spirit. But to this day, the demonic way has not been extinguished. I don't care what other sects are like, the Haotian sect, can you watch them die here? As soon as Chu Xinghe said these words, Mao Yang lowered his head, and the others also lowered their heads. People cannot stand without faith. When our Haotian sect agreed to enter the spirit cave, we only chose 100 people. The spiritual liquid here is enough for 300 people. The rest is reserved for the 3 sections. Since the Haotian sect agreed, I will never monopolize it. Chu Xinghe finished speaking in one breath, and finally breathed a sigh of relief when he saw everyone nodding. As long as it didn't cause any loss to Haotian sect, it would be okay if he brought back all the remaining spiritual liquid. So now Chu Xinghe waved his hand and said, "Let's go. Rush to the aid of the 3 sects." At the city gate, 1/3 of the 200-person team from the 3 sects was either injured or petrified, and the number of stone-breaking pills in the hands of the remaining people was gradually decreasing, but there are more and more monsters inside the city gate, seemingly endless. Senior Brother Xinghe, please take the people and leave first. We can't do it anymore. Fan Sheng's eyes were shining with tears at this time. They, Dongyue Pavilion, were at the forefront and suffered the heaviest losses. At this time, they could no longer do anything. There is no chance to retreat. Junior Brother Fan, come with us. Sun Xuehan also ran up and tried to hold Fan Sheng, but Fan Sheng broke away from them. You too, I led the disciples of Dongyue Pavilion out, but let them die here. How can I have the shame to return to the sect? Please help me tell Shermen that Fan Sheng is the shame of Dongyue Pavilion. Fan Sheng didn't even finish speaking. He rushed back into the group of monsters. Guo Qizhen and Sun Xuehan took a look around. At this point, they really had no choice but to retreat and watched Fan Sheng being surrounded by more and more monsters. Go! Guo Qizhen yelled, and they began to retreat. As they retreated, monsters swarmed towards the remaining people in Dongyue Pavilion. These people were unable to stop them and began to be petrified one after another. Fan Sheng kept raising his sword and slashing, risking his own life, but there was still no way to stop so many monsters. Junior Sister Tong Ling. Junior Brother Zhao Heng. Many junior brothers. Seeing each of his junior brothers and sisters being petrified by monsters, Fan Sheng felt completely desperate. He gradually began to lose strength, but at this moment he felt that death was a kind of relief for him. Bar! But just when Fan Sheng closed his eyes and was ready to die. In the sky, a yellow light pierced the sky. In a flash, the light had reached the city gate. In an instant, the sword light split into 2, 2 into 4, and 4 into more. Hundreds of yellow rays of light fell from the sky and directly hit the group of monsters. Haotian sword box. Locusts appear. Among the 9 divine swords, the locust sword is the first one that can be used. It is not even in the form of a sword, but its power is not bad at all. The light of the locust sword can turn into thousands in an instant. Of course, Chu Xinghe's current strength is not at that level, but Chu Xinghe can still transform into hundreds of sword lights. Hundreds of sword lights formed a sword formation and fell from the sky. All the monsters that rushed towards Fan Sheng were torn apart by the sword formation. The Haotian is immortal, and the Haoqi will last forever. That the hundreds of members of the Haotian sect shouted out the slogans used by the Haotian sect when they killed the enemy, and they all came out from one direction. Everyone, follow me. You must rescue them all. Chu Xinghe took the lead and rushed towards the monster group. All the disciples of the Haotian sect followed in the footsteps of Senior Brother Xinghe like a killing god and entered the formation to kill the enemy. For a moment, Xingyue sect and Baiming city, who were about to leave, were confused. Haotian sect. It turned out to be Haotian sect. They came to the rescue at this time. At this moment, Guo Qizhen and Sun Xuehan were stunned. They couldn't believe that the Haotian sect was here, and Chu Xinghe, whom they call the shame of the Haotian sect, is leading the way. Chapter 29. The thunder shadow appears, and purple lightning flashes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Haotian will never perish. Haoqi will last forever. The people of Haotian Sect suddenly rushed over, and a flying locust sword formation fell from the sky, instantly clearing all the monsters around Fan Sheng, and Fan Sheng was also dumbfounded when he saw Chu Xinghe rushing over. He had previously said that Chu Xinghe was the shame of Haotian Sect and the shame of the 10 major sections. But at this moment, he choked up. As the saying goes, it is easy to add flowers to the icing on the cake, but it is difficult to send charcoal in the snow. Today, Fan Sheng was ready to die here, but Haotian Sect came to them at the last moment. Swoosh! Countless stone-breaking pills flew out of Chu Xinghe's Qinquan ring and sprinkled on the whole scene. What are you still standing there for? Give the petrified people medicine to save them, and those who don't have medicine quickly replenish the stone-breaking pills. Haotian Sect is the central army, Xinye Sect is the left wing, and Baiming City is the right wing. Everyone follow me. Got the order. Sun Xueheng and Guoqizhen received the order at the same time. At this moment, the two seemed to be in the day of exterminating the demon sect in the mouth of the elders of the sect. Why can Haotian Sect be ranked first? When the demon sect was exterminating, Haotian Sect always rushed to the front. When Haotian ordered, everyone in the world bowed down. Although they were not facing the demon sect today, even if they were still insulting Chu Xinghe as the shame of Haotian Sect a moment ago, when Chu Xinghe really brought Haotian Sect back to kill, they were still shocked by Chu Xinghe's heroism. Haotian Sect could actually watch them lose here, and even the more people they lost, the more benefits Haotian Sect could get. But Haotian Sect did not do so. They still came to save their former allies. What a broad mind! At this moment, neither Sun Xueheng nor Guoqizhen had any more words to Chu Xinghe. Brother Xinghe said to charge, so we just followed. Who dares to say that Brother Xinghe is the shame of Haotian Sect again? I will break his wisdom teeth. This is obviously not the time to play homophonic puns. After being baptized by the spirit liquid, the strength of the people in the Haotian Sect is far from comparable to the 3 sections. Coupled with the unlimited supply of the stone-breaking pill, the monsters are nothing in front of the Haotian Sect. And the more terrifying one is Chu Xinghe. At this time, locusts are flying in the air above Chu Xinghe's head. Every time they fall, they bring hundreds of sword lights and sword formations. No armor is left behind wherever the locusts pass. Flying sword. That's a flying sword. Sun Xueheng was shocked when he saw Chu Xinghe's flying sword. Not only Sun Xueheng, but Guoqizhen also looked unbelievable. It is rumored that the Haotian Sect has a Haotian sword box, which contains 9 magic swords. But no one in the Haotian Sect has been able to control this thing for 400 years, so this matter has become a legend. But today, the Haotian sword box was born for the first time. It was actually in Chu Xinghe's hands. Everyone finally understood why Chu Xinghe could become the leader of the Haotian Sect and why he could become a direct disciple. It turned out that he was the owner of the Haotian sword box. Among the 10 major sects, whoever was able to participate in this event was a child of destiny, and a leader like Guoqizhen was even more of a genius among geniuses. But at this moment, when they saw the Haotian sword box, all the geniuses were eclipsed in front of Chu Xinghe. This is the supreme foundation of the Haotian Sect. Chu Xinghe's sword light kept flashing, and he came all the way to Fan Sheng. Senior Brother Xinghe. Fan Sheng didn't know what to say at this time. Take the pill. Save the people of Dongyue Pavilion immediately. Chu Xinghe threw the pill to Fan Sheng and continued to kill the enemy without saying a word. Well. Fan Sheng trembled and began to give the pills to the petrified junior brothers and sisters. Fortunately, the petrification time was not long, and a large amount of stone-breaking pills were taken, and they were also released from the petrified state. Soon, the people on the Dongyue Pavilion side began to recover and gradually joined the battlefield. The monsters were gradually cleared out, and everyone finally saw hope. Roar! A sudden roar came from the city gate, and the next moment the city walls collapsed with a trembling earth. Behind the collapsed city wall, the stone shell of a huge statue was broken, and a huge monster with a bloody mouth of 5 or 6 meters high rushed out from behind the collapsed city wall. Fan Xing took the lead and waved the spirit blade in his hand, but the spirit blade chopped the giant monster and bounced directly away. Fan Xing was also slapped by the monster and flew backwards with blood spurting out. Fan Xing was repelled, and others continued to attack, but this thing had extremely high defense and could not even break the defense. Get out of the way. I'll do it. Chu Xinghe saw that the monster was unscrupulous and knew that he had to take action at this time, otherwise someone might die. Flying locusts, the yellow sword light soared into the sky, and the sword formation fell from the sky. In an instant, the flying locust sword rain all fell on the monster. Every sword rain pierced the monster's skin and left scars on it. The defense was broken. But, it's still a little short of killing this monster. The monster was attacked by the sword rain and immediately went into a rampage state. He rushed towards Chu Xinghe frantically. Brother Xinghe, retreat quickly. Ma Liang directly blocked in front of Chu Xinghe to let Brother Xinghe go first, but just when Ma Liang wanted to retreat Brother Xinghe, purple lightning suddenly appeared around him. The electric current brought by the lightning made Ma Liang's hair float up. Thunder Shadow. Go! Chu Xinghe slapped his left arm, and a lightning shot up into the sky. A flash of purple lightning. The lightning shadow in the sky fell, and the monster that was rushing towards Chu Xinghe was directly hit by the lightning, and the monster's head exploded into pieces with a bang. And its huge body fell down, but inertia made it slide forward and finally lied in front of Chu Xinghe. At this moment, everyone could see clearly that a magic weapon that looked like thunder but not thunder, like lightning but not lightning was floating above Chu Xinghe's head. The second sword of the Haotian sword box. Thunder Shadow. In a flash of purple lightning, the thunder shadow had killed the enemy. As the big monster fell, all the small monsters seemed to be frightened and retreated like a tide, but the monster left, and everyone was still in a daze. The sky-defying sword rain of the locusts had already made many people unbelievable, and what was the flashing purple lightning just now? What kind of magic weapon was that? The purple lightning flew into the Haotian sword box, and the locusts returned to their positions. Chu Xinghe looked around and regained his cheerful look just now, but at this moment, whether it was the people of the Haotian sect or the people of the 3 sects, the eyes they looked at Chu Xinghe were completely different. Why did the Haotian sect have Ma Liang, a thorn? Before, it was because Ma Liang felt dissatisfied. Why? My strength is not worse than that Chu Xinghe, isn't he just luckier? I won't necessarily lose in a real fight. There are countless people who think this way, even more in the 3 sects, and even Fan Xing suspects that Chu Xinghe is just a relative. But once the Haotian sword box came out. At this moment, no one, whether from the Haotian sect or others, doubts Chu Xinghe's strength anymore. Brother Xinghe, is he so strong? I have never seen Brother Xinghe fight with others. He always said that he has average talent and average cultivation. Is this average? Brother Xinghe likes to be kind to others, unlike some people who like to challenge this and that. But you still don't understand that he can get the Haotian fighting will from the sect master. I thought I saw everything about Brother Xinghe, but now I know that what I saw is just a drop in the bucket. Brother Xinghe is unfathomable. Not only did the Haotian sect think that Brother Xinghe was unfathomable, but people from the 3 sects also gathered at this time. First was Fan Xing, who knelt down in front of Chu Xinghe with a plop. Brother Fan, what are you doing? Get up quickly. Chu Xinghe hurriedly pulled him. Brother Xinghe. I, Fan Xing, was worse than pigs and dogs before. I insulted Brother Xinghe. Today, Brother Xinghe put aside the past and brought the Haotian sect to help and save my Dongyue pavilion. Fan Xing has no way to repay me. Fan Xing burst into tears. I said before that Senior Brother Xinghe was as timid as a mouse, and that Senior Brother Xinghe was afraid of death. But everyone saw Senior Brother Xinghe's move just now. What kind of strength is that? Flying sword. The legendary Haotian sword box. With such strength, he is not afraid of lying down in the spirit cave, but I am narrow-minded and think that he is a relative. he kindly gave me the map to express his guilt for the previous things, and I still think that he has a conspiracy. Fan Sheng has never felt so guilty in his life. Other disciples of Dongyue Pavilion also knelt on the ground. For a while, Chu Xinghe could only ask the disciples of Haotian Sect to pull him up quickly, but the person was pulled up, and the eyes of the disciples of Dongyue Pavilion looking at Chu Xinghe were completely different. If they were disdainful before, now they are all respectful. Dear junior brothers and sisters, there is no need to do this. The 10 major sects are of the same blood. I have said this many times. Perhaps many people think that I am just talking. Today I tell you that I am not just talking. I really remember it in my heart. Today, the 3 sects are in trouble. My Haotian sect cannot stand by and watch them die. Just like in the future, when my Haotian sect is in trouble, will the 3 sects sit back and do nothing? Absolutely not. The disciples of the 3 sects spoke up. Okay, that's all I have to say. Let's not be hypocritical. By the way, we have found the spiritual liquid. It is on another road. Now the spiritual liquid is over there. All the junior brothers and sisters can follow us to cleanse the marrow and cut the bones. As soon as Chu Xinghe said this, the 3 sects were shocked again. What? The spiritual liquid is really over there? The Haotian sect has found the spiritual liquid, but still came to save us. Even if the spiritual liquid may be divided after saving us, there is still no hesitation. The disciples of the 3 sects were all stunned. What a broad mind. Brother Xinghe, it is a great favor to be able to save your life this time. Logically, my Dongyue Pavilion really cannot take the spiritual liquid anymore, but... Fan Sheng hesitated. I know. After all, the sect has an order, and you dare not disobey it, so the spiritual liquid is still yours. Chu Xinghe brought everyone to the location of the spiritual liquid. Although the 3 sects felt embarrassed, they still began to absorb the spiritual liquid. Fan Sheng stood in front of the spiritual liquid. Fortunately, he did not give any acceptance speech. He only said that Brother Xinghe will be my brother in the future. Then he absorbed the spiritual liquid. Although the others did not say much, they were undoubtedly grateful. While they were absorbing the spiritual liquid, Chu Xinghe ran to the city over there to take a look. What on earth is there in this city with such a big scene? But after searching around, there is really nothing. There is no rare treasure at all. When Chu Xinghe returned to the spiritual liquid, all the people in the 3 sects had already absorbed the spiritual liquid, and there was still some residue in the spiritual liquid pool, which could be taken away. Let's divide these equally among the 4 families. Chu Xinghe pointed at the spiritual liquid and said. Brother Xinghe. How can this be done? You have signed a military order. If you can't take it back, 70% of your status as a direct disciple will be revoked. Wan Lin was anxious when he heard Chu Xinghe's words. The other disciples were also anxious. The Haotian sect could have enjoyed it alone, but they had already done their best by sharing it with everyone. If they divided it equally, Senior Brother Xinghe would be punished when he returned. This was too unfair. Junior Sister Wan Lin, we 4 families came in and should have divided it equally. Okay, don't say anything more. Chu Xinghe hurriedly stopped Wan Lin. If you keep talking, I won't be able to complete my military order. But it was too late. Just as Chu Xinghe finished speaking, the 3 sects looked at each other, made up their minds and nodded heavily. Then Guo Qizhen spoke. Senior Brother Xinghe, it cannot be divided equally. All the remaining spiritual liquid belongs to the Haotian sect. Chu Xinghe, ah. Chapter 30. You are trying to trick me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The people of the 3 sects were resolute. They didn't want any of the remaining spiritual liquid, and gave it all to the Haotian sect. Chu Xinghe almost cried. I worked so hard to rescue you, and this is how you guys repay me? How can that be? You came here with a mission. If you can't get the remaining spiritual liquid, you will definitely be severely punished when you go back. Chu Xinghe saw that soft tactics didn't work, so he had to use hard tactics. The teams of each sect must have their own missions. If they fail to complete them, they will be punished. Sure enough, when he said he would be punished, many people hesitated. That's right. In order not to be punished, let's split it equally. I will take all the punishments alone. But before Chu Xinghe could be happy for even a second, Fan Xing spoke up, Brother Xinghe, our sect does have some requirements for us this time, but if we don't have the Haotian sect to rescue us this time, even if I, Fan Xing, can't save my life, what's the point of spiritual liquid? Brother Xinghe risked his life to save us, and he was willing to let us absorb all the spiritual liquid. If we dare to take the remaining spiritual liquid at this time, are we still human beings? Brother Xinghe, don't say anything more. If we really take the spiritual liquid, we will be unkind and unjust. Brother Xinghe, you can't cheat us. Fan Xing's words made everyone nod secretly, but only Chu Xinghe. I cheated you. You are cheating me. Chu Xinghe wanted to try harder, but there was no chance, because the people of the three sects had helped the people of the Haotian sect to collect all the remaining spiritual liquid and handed it over to Mao Yang, the lucky general beside Chu Xinghe. For fear of making mistakes, the three sects checked carefully several times. After confirming that the spiritual liquid was absolutely not less than all of it, the talents of the three sects finally relaxed. As the spiritual liquid was completely taken away, the exit of the spiritual cave was also opened. Except for Chu Xinghe, everyone walked out of the spiritual cave happily. Brother Xinghe, this place is the closest to our Xinghe sect. Why don't you follow us to Xinghe sect? The sect master and elders will definitely thank you for this trip to the spiritual cave. Guoqizhen invited him warmly, but Chu Xinghe flatly refused. Just kidding, although less is worse than more, if Xinghe sect thanks Haotian sect for this extra thing, Chu Xinghe would rather not go. Although Guoqizhen was a little disappointed with Chu Xinghe's refusal, he still sighed that Brother Xinghe was indeed a person who was indifferent to fame and fortune. Senior Brother Xinghe led the Haotian sect to save everyone from danger this time, and he also willingly gave the spiritual liquid to everyone. What a favor this is! It is conceivable that once Chu Xinghe brings the people of the Haotian sect to the Xinghe sect will definitely be very grateful. This is such a face-saving thing. But Senior Brother Xinghe directly turned it down with a sentence that he dared not disobey the sect's order. Faced with such a face-saving opportunity, he was not moved at all. Such Senior Brother Xinghe really made Guoqizhen admire him in his heart. Brother Xinghe, I, Fan Xing, will not say thank you, but I will remember your kindness in my heart. If Brother Xinghe needs you in the future, I will do my best to help you. Brother Xinghe is one of the people I, Sun Xuehan, admire the most in my life. If Brother Xinghe needs you in the future, please remember to call me. Fan Xing and Sun Xuehan came to say goodbye to Chu Xinghe. After all, they had to rush back to inform the sect of everything that happened in the Ling Cave. Chu Xinghe said goodbye to everyone one by one, but at this moment, the group of old guys in front of the Haotian mirror in the Haotian sect were stunned when they saw this scene. What happened inside? They are. The Haotian mirror can see the whereabouts of Chu Xinghe and others through some secret methods, but once they enter the Ling Cave, they can no longer see clearly, so the group of old guys don't know what happened in the Ling Cave, but they clearly remembered that when they entered, the three sects and Haotian sect were on the verge of a war. How come after such a short time, everyone's attitude towards Chu Xinghe and Haotian sect changed 180 degrees when they came out of the spirit cave? So what happened inside? I have arranged for people to wait at Xinghe sect. Guoqizhen will get the news as soon as he returns. The elder thought it right. After bidding farewell to the three sects, Chu Xinghe also led a group of 100 people to Yucheng. Along the way, the lucky General Mao Yang swung his Qinquan ring and was so proud. He. Junior brothers and sisters, this time we will take all the spiritual liquid back. Although the remaining spiritual liquid is not as good as directly absorbed, after being handled by our senior brothers in Lingyi Palace, it can all be turned into marrow cleansing pills. With so much spiritual liquid, all the new disciples should be able to get a marrow cleansing pill this time. More than that, there are still some left. I calculated that if it is 70% as Senior Brother Xinghe said, everyone can get one. Now all of them belong to us, so there will still be some left. Senior Brother Xinghe said 70% when he signed the military order. I told you that I was scared to death. Now it seems that Senior Brother Xinghe said less, he should say 90%, that the junior brothers and sisters were chatting happily, and bursts of laughter kept coming. They were completely different when they left and when they went, although Chu Xinghe also laughed, only he knew the bitterness in his heart. How did this unfortunate trip to the spirit cave turn out like this? Chu Xinghe didn't understand. How could I lose if I was late on purpose? How could I lose if I returned to the city on the spot? How could I lose if I chose the opposite route? How could I lose? Others tried their best to get treasures, but finally returned empty-handed. I tried my best to avoid all possible treasures, but I still got them all. What the hell is this? But now Chu Xinghe had no choice but to feel bitter. It took a day for a group of people to get to Yucheng, and in the Haotian sect, in the Haotian palace at this time, in front of the Haotian mirror, whether it was the sect master Gu Mingqiao or the great elder and the chief elders of other palaces, they all looked at the Haotian sect disciple who had just inquired about the news from the Xinghe sect and brought the news to everyone with an unbelievable look on their faces. Say it again. The great elder said in a daze, and the others did not object at all. Yes. I got the news from Xinghe sect that the group of 100 people led by Junior Brother Xinghe entered the spirit cave at the end. Junior Brother Xinghe and his team must have discovered some special mechanism, and they actually went directly to the second floor. Then Junior Brother Xinghe did not go to get the spirit liquid in advance because he was ahead, but explored the second floor and drew a map, and shared it with the 3 sections. Then at the fork in the road, Junior Brother Xinghe asked the 3 sects to choose the inner city where the treasures were most likely to be, and he chose the outer city. The 3 sects encountered monsters in the inner city and were surrounded and killed, but the spirit liquid appeared in the outer city. Junior Brother Xinghe and his team could have watched them die and taken the spirit liquid alone, but they did not. Instead, they led the people of Haotian sect to rescue the 3 sections. Junior Brother Xinghe killed countless monsters with his flying sword and finally rescued all the people of the 3 sections. He also said that Haotian sect was a man of his word and promised that as long as there were 100 people, they would never take a penny more and divide the spirit liquid among the 3 sections. After that, the 3 sects absorbed the spirit liquid, but the remaining remnants were all given to Haotian sect. The disciple repeated the news he had heard again, and Haotian palace was still quiet at this time. The elder waved his hand to signal the disciple to leave. After the disciple left, the sect master Gu Mingqiao spoke. This child. Although he only said 4 words, the admiration in Gu Mingqiao's eyes could not be concealed in any way. The other elders also nodded one after another, and the elder stroked his newly grown beard and smiled like a chrysanthemum. This trip to the Linku seemed to be a trip of the 4 sects together, but everyone knew that because Chu Xinghe accidentally bought Shenling grass and choked the necks of the 3 sects, the 3 sects reluctantly gave up the 100 places. The 3 sects actually rejected the Haotian sect. This can be seen from the moment they entered the door, so it is a foregone conclusion that the 3 sects are targeting the Haotian sect, so the bigwigs of the Haotian sect are worried about whether Chu Xinghe can cope with it inside. Don't be tricked by the people of the 3 sects, and end up with nothing, but now when they know what happened inside, they are really shocked. What shocked them the most was not how Chu Xinghe found the mechanism or whether he was lucky enough to choose the right path, but that Chu Xinghe did not choose to stand by and watch or even add insult to injury when the 3 sects were in the most critical moment, but chose to lead the disciples of Haotian sect to rush to the 3 sects without hesitation. What a broad mind! What a magnanimity! Only with such a broad mind and such a magnanimity can one be worthy of the supreme throne of the world's #1 sect. The 3 sects can isolate Haotian sect, but Haotian sect, the world's #1, will never sit idly by and watch anyone. Chu Xinghe's choice and his broad mind completely conquered the 3 sects, which is why the people of the 3 sects looked at Chu Xinghe with guilt and respect when they said goodbye. This child is much better than the best result I expected. Gu Mingqiao couldn't help but sigh at this time. The best result he expected at the beginning was that Chu Xinghe led the team to get the spiritual liquid, and in the end, as he said, he fought for the remaining 70%. but now Chu Xinghe not only got all the remaining, but also got the respect of the most elite disciples of the 3 sections. If Gu Mingqiao were to give a score for this trip to the spirit cave, he would give Chu Xinghe 99 points, and the remaining 1 point was because he was afraid that this child would be proud, but this child, how calm, would he really be proud? Grand Elder, Xinghe has made great contributions to the sect this time. All the remaining spiritual liquids need to be refined into marrow-cleansing pills by your Lingyi Palace. Gu Mingqiao was extremely happy at this moment. Don't worry, Sect Master, just leave it to my Lingyi Palace. The Grand Elder held his head high. This time, Chu Xinghe really gave face to Haotian sect and Lingyi Palace. Although Chu Xinghe was not their disciple, the other chief elders of the other palaces were very happy because Chu Xinghe got so much spiritual liquid this time. Every disciple who had just entered the sect was eligible to get a marrow-cleansing pill. This was also a great thing, so they were all very happy. Everyone was very happy, except Chu Xinghe. Chu Xinghe was standing in Yuqing at this moment. This trip to the spirit cave was so damn depressing, and what was the best way to vent his depression? That was shopping, of course. Chu Xinghe looked at the spirit stones in his Qianquan ring, and decided that he had to destroy them all.